Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a little bit of an almost emergency broadcast. We are actually super excited, thankful, grateful to bring on our guest today. She's part of the Inspired family, part of the team. She lives in Acapulco, and she has actually lived through one of the worst hurricanes in history, if we can call it a hurricane. We're trying to figure everything out. She's going to tell us her story, what's been going on since, how she was able to help, and how much help there was given at all. We're going to learn everything now from someone who was on the ground when it happened. Lee Romanov, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
No problem, Sean. It's been so much fun here.
Lee, I'm just glad you still have your sense of humor, but I'll be honest with you. We were just relieved after about 48 hours. We finally got the live signal from you. You are alive. You made it through. Gabriel, another member of the Inspired family in Acapulco, also made it out alive. Lee, as best as you can you run us through what really happened? Maybe
Okay.
starting from the night before and then just moving forward.
Yeah, sure. So what happened was that everybody was saying it's, tropical storm, don't worry about it. The tropical storms are kind of entertaining around here because you get this big breeze and, rain, but no big deal. So my sister had emailed me and said, hey, there's a tropical storm happening. And I just emailed her back and said, oh, no, it's just a couple, just a little bit of wind and dribbles and everything. And that's what it was around 9 o'clock. So 9, 10, I think I went to go to bed at 10 o'clock. And about 11, the winds started to wake me up. And I thought, wow, because I'm right on the beach. I'm right at where Max Egan used to live, the Crowbar. I'm on the top, right on the beach. So, so the wind started picking up about 11. And so I just sat on my couch because I had a whole, 5 glass doors of a view onto the water. And it just was getting stronger and stronger. And then all of a sudden you could hear the roof fall and it would go smashing on the balcony. And I thought, oh, this is a little bit more than I bargained for. And we had a terrace up there, and the roofs were just smashing the terrace, and it brought it down. And then one of those big water containers that they hold the water in, that came crashing down, and it's going, whoa, this is more than a tropical storm. And then a second one came, and then it blew off the balcony, and the trees were just bent over. I've never seen anything like it before. Waves were crazy, and it just kept building. And it knocked down the terrace, and then it knocked down the sides of the terrace that were bolted in, just smashed down. And I was thinking, whoa, this is way, way too much. And around midnight, it was just crazy. And then around 1 o'clock, you could see, I could see outside, the wind was coming from the back of my building to the water, and everything was fine. And because it was blowing the trees that way, and all of a sudden you could see the whole thing turn on its axis and face towards me, which is from the water back into the town. You could actually see it turn, and all of a sudden the wind started blowing at the doors. And the doors, I've never seen 1/4-inch glass doors start to buckle. And so I was holding it, making sure that it didn't shatter, until I realized it's going to go. And one of them went, and it just blew in, and it was like the mini hurricane through my place. And then it started to, I guess because of the pressure, blow out the other 4 doors. And I got in the bathroom, I grabbed my phone, and I told my sister, hey, this is more than tropical storm. But then the internet cut out. So she was probably left with a pretty weird kind of message. And then it blew from 1 o'clock to about 2 o'clock. It was devastating. It was knocking everything down. And then around 2 o'clock, it kind of just stopped. There was rain, but it kind of just stopped. And you're thinking, whoa. So I just sort of kind of sat around till the daylight. And then I walked out and everything was flattened. Just trees, buildings, um, everything. And right now it's actually its anniversary a week later. And I had sent you some images and it's still as devastating. No lights, no water, no, electricity, plumbing, sewage, nothing. It's still just like it was a week ago. Now, in regard to help, it was crazy. When usually the OXO stores, which are just your variety stores, people go in and there's always security there with a guy with a gun, just protecting the place or whatever. Anyway, the next day, I got into my truck and I started to drive through the disaster, and it was like flooded. And then all of a sudden, you see all the OXO stations being swarmed by looters. And I'm thinking, where are the guards? Nothing. And then I kept driving, the grocery stores being looted. But where are the guards? They were there the day before. Now they're gone. Walmart, Costco, it was like a madhouse of looters. And it didn't just start looting like for a couple of hours or that day. The looters kept on going for the next day and the next day and the next day, 4 days in. And I think about the fourth day, I started to see a policeman. Now,
so wait. Let me stop it just to make sure.
Sure.
You say that between the actual landfall of the hurricane that next morning and 4 days later, no police, no military, no private security, or basically no nothing that is usually observable on the streets of Acapulco.
Yeah, no, nothing. Yeah, no, nothing. I was so shocked because they're always there. The military they're always driving back and forth on the streets. You always see the police. You always have a security guard with a gun by stores because it's Mexico. And we got some planes. They're flying people out of this area for free for the next few days, which is really, really a good thing. So yeah,
If you don't mind, I just have a few questions before we move into the aftermath, because we want to make sure that we can really separate rumors from facts. Now, the first question I have is, was there any kind of warning, whether sirens or alerts to your phone, or was the media, as far as you were following it, alerting people to the possibility of a huge potential storm or hurricane?
No, I mean, my sister was the only one that emailed me and said, I think there's going to be a big storm. That was it.
So what does Mexico have kind of an emergency, a weather alert system like we have in the United States?
I can't say anything to that.
So you've never seen it before?
Nobody had, from what I understand, because there were some people, some of the expats were trying to get some messages across. They had found out somehow through the internet, maybe by Weather Watch or something, and they were trying to get the message out. Maybe they found out through Jeff, but nothing official was done. There were no sirens, there were no police, there was, I mean, it's Mexico. They've got cars and big speakers that they could go and, instead of selling tacos, could say, hey, bunker down. Nothing.
Well, I would assume that Mexico, just like any other country, has fire sirens and has some sort of catastrophe sirens. I mean, basically, I don't know of a country that doesn't have them. So I would be surprised that they weren't actually on when it started hitting at a certain. So how was the communication the morning after, in terms of, was there anyone out there helping people, coordinating things? Was there any coordinated help on the ground from on the side of the military and or government?
No.
So basically everyone was left to their own devices.
Yeah, and it just seemed like the military and the police just backed off to allow for the looting. Now, that could be just simply, hey, take the food because it's a disaster and take what you can. Mind you, there was looting on furniture stores and all kinds of things that they weren't, necessities. So, yeah.
And one more rumor that we heard from different sides is that the hurricane didn't carry rain. You said, however, there was rain. So we just want to make sure we got the
Yeah.
fact straight. Was there rain, or was it later, before, during? How was that?
Okay, so it started with a little bit of rain, tropical storm, and then the rain increased. So, I know Jeff was saying that there was no rain because so it may have been two different fronts. It could have been a tropical storm and then a hurricane on top of it. I don't know, but there was definitely rain.
Okay.
People's, roofs were blown off. Rain was coming through. I had about half a foot of water in my place. There was flooding. People were getting into little rubber boats to steal TVs.
Well, but so moving to that day after, I know you've been pretty much one of the few people in your area that's mobile, that has been driving back and forth and helping with supplies and helping people move in and out of situations. Who else was on the ground? You said that you actually were aware of Jeff Berwick's recovery efforts and his team, and so that these donations have made it to Acapulco in the form of food and water and whatnot. Is that true?
Yeah, Jeff was amazing. I started to see the cars coming in. I didn't know anything that Jeff was doing. And the cars were coming in. They had food. There's usually 2 people per car distributing in different areas. They were taking, orders in regard to what do you need? What can we bring next? Because we were on the ground, we had nothing. So we were telling them, easy to open soups and lighters and flashlights and off, because there's so many mosquitoes right now. It's ridiculous. So Jeff's people were absolutely amazing, and they just didn't come once. It was like a stream. They would show up, one day and make 3 stops or 4 stops, and then they show up the next day, 3 and 4 stops, and they're still doing it. We just put an order in for a generator to get people fresh water, because the water is pretty scarce. So I think they're bringing the generator in tomorrow. If they don't, I'll be driving outside to find one to bring in. But I was lucky because I had the truck, so I could help people out, taking them to the airport and that type of thing. But Jeff's guys did exactly what they said they would do, and I think above and beyond. It was incredible. And then I saw your video with Jeff, and yeah, that's when I learned what Jeff was doing, but I saw it first.
Okay, so basically that's when you connected the dots. Okay, this was Jeff's effort. By the way, we're displaying the website where people can go and donate. I wasn't doubting it, but of course people love to hear from someone on the ground that it's exactly it's happening. What they're saying is happening. But it's wonderful that Jeff does this and this is happening, and people are putting in this effort. But what about from official sources? Who is now on the ground a week later to help out? Is there military, government, Red Cross, who is on the ground helping people?
The day after the storm, or maybe 2 days after, the Red Cross showed up with a huge truck and, boxes where there's beans and rice and, that type of thing, sauce, pasta. So the Red Cross showed up, and they've been showing up for about two or 3 days. Just today, I saw a sign of the government, saying, hey, here's a center where you can pick up, supplies. So the government started just today, from what I've seen. The Red Cross was before, and Jeff was before everybody.
Do you have any, even if it's speculation, do you have any explanation as to why it would only start a week later. I mean, you would think that it would start the morning after, right? I mean, Acapulco, after all, is if the roads really hadn't been accessible by water, you can access it, right? I mean, you can bring stuff in.
You could definitely bring stuff in. I mean, and if you had a truck or something, you know, like I did, you could go through, because the water wasn't major flooding, but it would be difficult for cars, but not trucks.
Okay.
However, there were so many cars and trucks and buses blown over. There were so many downed hydro poles. Like, it was just crazy. So that may have made it inaccessible to driving through.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so what is there any plan? Is there anything that had been announced? How to, you know, are the grocery stores going to be supplied again? Are they going to open again? I mean, how's life supposed to function again in Acapulco after this?
Well, everybody, I think, is still very dependent because we still don't have, like, I just came to this resort area where they're trying to do repairs and they're using generators. So that's how I've got access. But no one else does out in the real community. We're getting a little bit of cell service coming through. The city is repairing the poles. So, like, they're starting to do things now. I would say maybe in another week, but people are still, you know, so many fires out there, cooking by fire. Mosquitoes are really bad right now. You know, it's tough for people because, again, it's a week later and we're pretty much in the same position.
So very much uncertainty, and you know, we hope that people will still go to the website and help with the recovery, as we now know and can have confirmed that actually the supplies are coming through. Now, Lee, there has also been, of course, with a very unusual pattern like this one, where you have a tropical storm when you go to sleep, and you have one of the strongest hurricanes that had ever made landfall in history all of a sudden. There were speculations about this being a manipulated storm, a created storm. You know, these are all things that we're going to have to get to the bottom of. But was there any talk that you were aware of about Acapulco becoming one of those infamous 15-minute cities before Otis that you were aware of?
I don't think so. I think that the target for the 15-minute cities is in Europe and the US.
Okay.
I think somebody, whether it's nature or whether it's behind nature, man-made or whatever made, 1 hour. It was 1 hour when all of a sudden the winds turned, everything went foggy white for an hour and ripped the entire Acapulco apart. 1 hour. And then it stopped. Like, where does that come from? Like, how does that hurricane start and stop in an hour and rip everything apart, devastate everything?
You know, I mean, I'm not an expert. I have been watching and listening to people that have, you know, have done nothing else but study weather patterns, storms, and there's definitely a lot of curiosity as to, you know, the intricacies of this particular storm and why it behaved the way it behaved and how unusual it was in its behavior. So I'm glad we could clear up a few things. Other than for people to, you know, to donate and help with that, is there anything else people can do that are not in Acapulco? And what are your plans moving forward? Do you plan to stay? What do you think you're going to do?
I have no plans, only because right now everybody's running around trying to find people. Like, people are calling in now and saying, I haven't heard from my daughter. She's 8 years old. You know, can you track her down? And all of a sudden you've got some Acapulco people trying to track her down and expats, and then we find them and then we report back. So right now we've got about another week of making sure that everybody gets what they need and everybody's safe and everybody has got water and food and sort of in our network. And it's a pretty large network right now, and nobody is being, you know, stupid about things. However, the looters that looted for whatever the reasons were. Now, the smaller businesses are being robbed, like smaller restaurants down by the beach, which, by the way, there's no beach left. It's just like a cliff of dirt. But the smaller restaurants, the smaller businesses are now being robbed, which is a very scary thing.
So if anyone from the Mexican government or the military happens to be watching this, what are you asking of them? What do you on the ground need right now, and what do the people of Acapulco need?
I think they just need supplies. They just need supplies. They need to make sure that they've got food and water. And if their electricity is coming up in different areas, create a central spot. We've already told Jeff's group that we can use Max's crowbar as a central hub for food, water, and electricity. So that's why they're bringing in the generator, so that people can go there and have access, and start reporting out.
So coordination would be important, basically, that there is communication between different parts of the city, distribution of, so that everybody gets what they need.
Yeah, absolutely. The police and the military now are on every block, but they're just standing there.
Okay.
Like they're just standing there. And for me, they're just standing there and scaring people because they're not like doing anything.
Okay, understood.
And I wish they were there the day after the storm. And because there would not be any looting. There would be a peaceful lineup of getting food.
Naturally, but since we have been on and off in touch with Jeff Berwick, again, the website is hurricaneotisrecovery.com. The funds, they're posting receipts of their purchases, and the supplies are coming through to Acapulco, which is important. Lee, I know you have other things to worry about right now, and people are, I think, very grateful that you are on the ground doing the things, and you're a go-getter, and you're a getter done girl. I know you. Whenever you can get something done, you will. But please keep us in the loop, and if there are important updates that you feel people need to know, and if there's anything people can do, please let us know. We'll share it with our audience. We're grateful you're still around, my friend.
Thanks. Are you able to post some of the pictures? Because I can keep sending pictures of what's happening.
Yes.
Because I think I'm going to go down into the heart of Acapulco tomorrow and report on that.
Yes, we will create a little video with the pictures so people can kind of see what's really been going on. And thank you for clarifying some of the rumors and and putting facts in. I'm when I saw you for the first time, we were just on the phone. I saw you just a few minutes ago for the first time. I was just thankful to see your smile. And after having gone through this, it's just absolutely amazing that you're in high spirits like this. Yeah. Well,
only for you, Sean.
Lee, please give our love to everyone around you and the people in Acapulco. And please, for those, sometimes I know when you're in a situation like this, it's good to know that people care, that people outside of, they care, and they're actually trying to do whatever they can. We all care about you all, and you're not forgotten, even though it seems to be that the whole world is forgetting about Acapulco, but we're not.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's like Gazapulco right now.
Well, my friend, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Please send us those pictures, and anything else you have for us that we can share, we will. And please give our love to the people of Acapulco.
And thank Jeff. Like, give him a big thanks.
We will. Okay? We will definitely. And I encourage everyone, go there. Please donate if you can. It's definitely appreciated. And if that's not possible, please share this video so people learn what happened. And if they can, then they can help. Thank you, and Inspire Tribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you, and we'll be back with you again very soon.
Bye.